Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome back to the solutions for BSDS Amplifier 2024. We're at question 25 now. Now question 25 is a bit weird because you have to know how the graphs for different functions look like. Alright. So x squared plus y squared by 4 minus less than 1. This is an ellipse. Alright. So we know how an ellipse looks like. Now this ellipse has a fraction in the y term, right? So it will be squelched along the x-axis, okay, and there will be a bit of height in the y direction. All right, so I will show you the graph of these two equations when I relate the solution with it. All right, so I have taken these equations, I know how to use the graphical software, so I have plotted these two graphs and I'll show you how they look like so that you can check and verify the solutions. Alright, but remember, you will not get these softwares or programming languages in your exam, so you have to rely just on mathematics to deduce which option you can mark. If there is confusion, you can mark none of these, or if you feel like you have the particular answer, then do mark it. Alright, now how do we explain these without the use of graphics? Now first of all, we are quite sure that region A is bounded by the inequality x squared plus y squared by 4 less than 1, representing an ellipse. Alright. Region B is bounded by x to the power 4 plus y to the power 4 by 16 less than 1, representing some shape that is not commonly known to us. Right. We usually do not deal with fourth power, so we only know about the ellipse. Alright. So if we only know about the ellipse, let us compare these two. If we compare these two, we see that every point within region A satisfies the inequality for region B. Alright, so any point you take in the region A, because in the individual terms in region B are squares of the terms of region A, all of the points in region A will lie in point B. Actually, that means that A is a subset of B. Alright, because the inequality for A is less restrictive than the inequality for region B. This is because for any point x comma y, x4 and y to the power 4 are smaller or equal to x square and y square. Alright, making x to the power 4 plus y to the power 4 by 16 larger or equal to x square plus y square by 4 for the decimal portions. Alright, so there will be a bit of equality somewhere, because at y equal to 0, x equal to 0, you will have some equality, but there is a border also, right? Both of them have to be less than 1. So you will get this figure which is bounded by 1, but it will not be a true circle, because as we have described, the first figure is an ellipse and the second figure is just something that covers the first figure. Alright, for the positive values it will give you a much greater value, and for the values that are near to the borders you will get the same result. Alright, because for example, let us take 1 comma 0. Right, now the point 1 comma 0 will not lie on either of these, so both of them are bounded by 1 comma 0 and both of them are bounded by minus 1 comma 0. Right, similarly take the point 0 comma 1. Now 0 comma 1 will be there in both of these, right, because if you have x as 0 and if you have y as 1, then half square is less than 1, and 1 by y by 4 to the power 4 again is less than 1. Right, so let me show you the diagrams, that will be better, but I hope you could understand the analysis. Now when I show you the diagram, you will feel like you have solved this question. Let me show the diagram to you. Just give me a moment, I'll paste it here. Alright, so this is how it looks like. Okay, the bolder line represents the larger area, so as I have drawn it, the bolder line. Okay, so this blackish line, that is the equation of x to the power 4. X to the power 4 plus y by 2 to the power 4 less than 1. Now that is y to the power 4 by 16, and the inner one you can see that is the ellipse, which is x square plus y by 2 whole square less than 1. Now, as I was telling you, this will not touch the outer borders on 1 comma 0 as well as 1 comma 0, right? These points are limited by minus 1 comma 0 and 1 comma 0. They will not touch them. Alright, and in the upper side you will be crossing 0 and 1 because 1 by 4 will be less than 1 and 1 by 16 will always be less than 1. Alright, so you can see how the shapes are formed. The ellipse is much smaller, and then the other equation, because it has fourth powers, it will take some of the values, especially in the positive part, to greater distances away. Right? There is this distance, right? Everywhere. But the terminal values near the minus 1 0 and plus 1 0 are almost similar. Right? So this was the graph of these two equations. I have plotted it using a graphical software. You can also check it yourself. Just Google how to graph a function, and then whatever links you get, you study the formatting there about how to give the commands, and then you give the commands and solve it. Right? But according to your analysis, as well as what we have seen in the graph, we can clearly deduce that A will be a subset of B. Now we deduce this one first and then verify it via the graph. Alright? Otherwise you will say that, sir, you cheated, you drew a graph on the computer and you marked it. No, I gave you the explanation before. Why A will be inside B? Because B is taking the squares of A. Right? So A will have a much lower area than B because B will take the values of A to longer distances because it's squaring all of the individual values. Alright, it's not a perfect square, but each term is getting squared. Okay, so in this way you can assume how A will be inside B. Alright, and this is all you have to do. A is a subset of B. If you can answer that, that will be the correct answer. Alright, now this question will have a lot of confusion for students who are unable to visualize this. If you cannot visualize this, then you will either think of skipping this question or you will mark option D. If you have a lot of confusion and you are quite unsure, then I will suggest you skip this question. Alright, it's always better to not attempt a question rather than getting a negative mark. Alright, because there is negative mark, right? I think it's plus 2 and minus half or plus 3 and minus 1, something like this. So please be aware of it. Alright, the negative marking will affect you a lot because not only will it give you no marks for this particular question, but also it will take away some marks from a question that you have done correctly. Right? So lots of confusion, do not attempt. Move on to the next one. Only if you are sure of your calculations, your assumptions, your intuition, only then you will mark option C. And you can also, for your peace of mind, you can come home and check the solution in a graphical calculator. It will show you the graphs of these two equations, and we can clearly see that whatever we analyzed, that A and B will have, A will be an ellipse, that was for sure. B will be a figure that is a bit larger than the ellipse because some of the values will be stretched a bit more due to being the fourth power, alright, or being the square of individual terms of A. So that is what happened, and here is the graph once again. So this is how the graph will look like. The outer graph is x to the power 4 plus y by 2 whole to the power 4 less than 1, and the lower one is x square plus y by 2 whole square less than 1. Okay, so I'll end this explanation here. I hope you have understood the explanation. If not, then do rewatch the part where I described the thought process of marking option C before I showed you the graph. Alright, because once you see the graph, you will be like, okay, option C marked. Okay, so I'll end this video here. See you all in question 26.